10-minute lobster tails. Yes, you heard that right. 10-minute juicy, succulent lobster tails. You guys are absolutely going to love this recipe. It is so simple to follow. It is literally a foolproof way to make lobster tails every single time. So you're going to start by gathering your ingredients: lobster tails, butter, seasonings, and some lemon. I have a wonderful pro tip here for you guys, so stay tuned. You're going to start by cutting your lemon into wedges. Once you get them cut with your super sharp knife, you are going to set them to the side. Anytime you go to your grocery store and you get to that seafood department and you see lobster tails on sale, go ahead and grab some. They freeze very, very well. If you do buy them frozen, just be sure to thaw them out in the refrigerator before you get started with this recipe. And once your lobster tails are nice and thawed out, go ahead and grab a pair of kitchen shears or some very sharp scissors. And you are going to grab the tail with the hard shell facing up and just cut directly down the middle like I'm doing here. Try to sort of lift up the scissors so that you don't cut into the actual lobster meat and you're only cutting the hard shell. Once you get to the fin part of the lobster tail, you're going to just cut on either side a slit so that you can pull the lobster meat directly down. And this is called the butterflying method. You absolutely don't have to cut your lobster tail this way, but for this recipe, to get them cooked in 10 minutes, this is how we do it. Once it's cut on the hard side, you're going to flip it over and just kind of break the shell on the back side like you saw there. This just helps loosen up that meat so that you can go in with your finger and separate it from the shell like I'm doing here. Then you're going to just grab the meat directly out and pull it up through the shell so that it can just set right on top of that hard shell. Once you loosen that meat up with your fingers, it should be pretty easy to get out. Then you're just going to set it right on top like I'm doing here. And I want to show you one more time. You're just going to take that back part of the lobster tail and you're going to crack it right down the middle like this. It's almost like cracking the ribs of the lobster per se. So once you get the hard shell cut down the middle, flip it over, then you're going to sort of crack the ribs like I showed you there, and then use your finger to go right in between the meat and the shell on that hard part so that you can loosen the meat up and easily pull it up directly through the shell. And I will have all of these step-by-step written instructions and a printable recipe for you linked in the caption below. Prepping your lobster tail this way is called the butterflying method, and it is the preferred way to cook lobster because it cooks super quick and it comes out juicy and tender every single time. Once we lift that tail up, we set it right on top of the shell, and then this is a pro tip, you guys. Grab those lemon wedges that we sliced up and just place them directly into the shell. It helps keep that lobster meat nice and elevated off of the tail for presentation purposes, and it also adds some delicious flavor to your lobster tails when you cook it. Then you are going to melt some butter in the microwave, about 4 tablespoons of butter, and you're going to add all of your seasonings directly into the butter and use a basting brush to mix it up very, very well. Again, I have the full recipe linked below so that you can go ahead and get all of the exact measurements for yourself. Once you get that seasoned garlic butter nice and melted and mixed up, go ahead and use your basting brush and just brush those lobster tails liberally with that seasoning and butter mixture. You want to make sure that you are getting every single edge and every single piece of that lobster meat. Be very, very generous here. And now is a good time to go ahead and preheat your oven to 500 degrees on the broil setting. So that is the key to these succulent and juicy 10-minute lobster tails. You are going to cook them in the oven on the broil setting for exactly 8 to 9 minutes. Once that oven's preheated, go ahead and put them in there. Take those bad boys out after your 8 to 9 minutes and look at these delicious, juicy lobster tails, you guys. This is the easiest, most foolproof recipe you can ever make. I promise you, you will not go wrong. Lobster tails are a good idea for any occasion. Make them on a weeknight for a special dinner. Save them for a special occasion. Add them to your steak dinner. We like to chop up some fresh parsley to sprinkle right on the top for presentation purposes. As you know, parsley doesn't have too much flavor, so it's definitely not necessary. It's a preference. And if you have any of that leftover garlic butter left, go ahead and baste it right on those lobster tails. We also like to make another batch of this seasoned garlic butter just to dip the lobster tails in because y'all, it is that good. Once you get them nice and juicy and basted up, go ahead and sprinkle that fresh parsley right over the top if you'd like. We like to serve these lobster tails up with a plate of rice or a nice salad. You can even eat them with a loaded baked potato. Add them to your next seafood boil. The number one thing is you have to serve them with some lemon wedges because that fresh lemon along with the garlic butter just brings out all of the delicious flavors. And you know I had to do a taste test for you guys. Just look at this dip in this garlic butter. It is so amazing. You guys have to head to razzledazzlelife.com right now and grab this full step-by-step recipe with the instructions. Everything is linked in the description below. Be sure to like, save, and follow your girl for some more delicious recipes. See you next time and enjoy!